morning. I'm Rachel Wolf, and thanks so much for watching the Eyewitness Morning News. It's another chilly start to the day across the metro area, but that's going to give way to a milder afternoon. The big story this morning, the government shutdown. It's the first time it's happened in 4 years. On the left side of your screen is what's left of the front entrance of the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. Right now, Slidell police are still looking for a man after investigators found human and animal remains inside of his home. As rivers across southeast Louisiana continue to rise, river communities are keeping a watchful eye on what they expect to be devastating amounts of flooding. Well, we're just 2 hours away from one of the most talked about college football games ever. I hope the temperatures drop a little for Thanksgiving.
You like that, huh?
I do.
You want it to feel festive.
I want to play mud football the day after Thanksgiving when there's a chill in the air and you can see your breath.
No. I like it just the way it is.
We know that Trump is fiery, passionate. He's from the Northeast. Didn't he really need Governor Pence for that Midwest sensibility?
Right. Bringing a Midwesterner in probably helps.
So he joins us live from the Pitch and Fiddle Irish Pub, where they're already open for business. Good morning and thanks for joining us. It is Saturday, January 20th. The big story this morning, the government shutdown. It's the first time it's happened in 4 years. The Senate failed to pass a funding bill, and there were no alternatives that were found before midnight last night, and now both sides are taking shots. Top lawmakers and President Trump met throughout the day, scrambling to make a last-minute compromise. But by the midnight Eastern deadline, there was still no deal. Democratic lawmakers say they will not pass a spending bill unless they get guaranteed protections for Dreamers, the 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. In a statement, the White House called this an attempt to hold lawful citizens hostage, and Republicans say there's no rush to write legislation protecting Dreamers. While the specifics are unclear, here's most likely how that shutdown is going to affect you. It could cost the U.S. economy $38 million every hour. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees will be furloughed without pay, and by February, members of the military will see their paychecks delayed. Social Security checks will continue to be mailed out. Active duty military members will remain on the job for now, but like we just said, if this lasts until February, their paychecks could be delayed. Airports will remain open with air traffic controllers and TSA workers remaining on the job. Loan applications for communities, small businesses, and home buying will be frozen, and the U.S. Postal Service will still deliver mail because it is self-funded. That's the message you get when you call the White House right now. And here's what the president's tweeting this morning. He says, quote, Democrats are far more concerned with illegal immigrants than they are with our great military or safety at our dangerous southern border. They could have easily made a deal but decided to play shutdown politics instead. Hashtag we need more Republicans in 18 in order to power through mess. He continues, for those asking, the Republicans only have 51 votes in the Senate and they need 60. That's why we need to win more Republicans in 2018 election. We can then be tougher on crime and border and even better to our military and veterans. He wraps it up with one more tweet, America first. Well, switching gears a little bit and heading back here at home, clear and cold today, but changes are on the way. Isn't that right, Michelle?
You know, we have enough view.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, top local stories that we're following today. In Elk Grove, a man is finally in police custody after an hours-long standoff. It started around 6 o'clock last night near Willard Parkway and Blossom Ridge Drive. Police say the man was shooting at officers and they were forced to evacuate people living nearby. And check this out. Police say the guy set the house on fire. The flames started in the second story of the home. They tell us that man jumped out the window, and that's when police were able to take him into custody with the help of police canines. Neighbors in the area say that they are shocked. As far as officers who were involved, none of them were injured. The suspect has not yet been identified. We do know he was inside the home with 3 women, and they were all able to get out safely. Police are looking for a specific vehicle in the investigation into Karen Garcia's death. They're now looking for a black 2011 Toyota Sienna believed to be driven by Karen's ex-boyfriend, Salvador Garcia. He has since been named a suspect in the case. The Sienna was reported stolen to the Williams Police Department yesterday afternoon. 21-year-old Karen Garcia's body was found in her car in a Woodland parking lot last weekend. The Yolo County Coroner's Office says she died from blunt force injuries to her head. If you know anything, you're asked to please call police. Sacramento police are asking for help finding this girl. She is 13-year-old Shanette Rinson. They say she was last seen at school yesterday afternoon. She's 5'2" and may be with an adult man. Police are considering her at risk because of her age. If you have any information, again, please contact the police department. A West Sacramento man accused of killing his 3 children and trying to murder his wife has officially been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Police say Robert Hodges killed his children, including an infant, in September after he and his wife got into an argument. He pleaded guilty and made a deal with prosecutors that would keep him off death row, but guaranteed he'd spend the rest of his life behind bars. Police in Las Vegas have released their initial report on the mass shooting that killed 58 people at a music festival in October. The report is 81 pages and contains several photos of the crime scene. There was a staggering number of rifles on countertops, chairs, beds, and on the floor of a hotel room that turned the sniper's nest. There was also a hammer next to the glass from the shattered window where the shooter opened fire. Police say they've chased almost 2,000 leads since October, but the gunman's motive is still a mystery, though they know he, quote, acted alone. Charges are not expected to be filed against the shooter's girlfriend, who told investigators he'd become, quote, distant and withdrawn over the last year and began buying more guns. The day before the shooting, the report says the gunman twice drove from the Mandalay Bay to his home, returning with at least 6 suitcases. When police used explosives to blow open his bullet-riddled hotel room door, he was already dead, believed to have taken his own life. Happening today, the Women's March will take place around the world, including right here in Sacramento. Organizers have been making signs for the march in downtown that is expected to draw tens of thousands of people. Just last year, more than 20,000 people took to the state's capital to join in solidarity with marches happening around the world. It was scheduled a day after the president was sworn in, and people expressed concerns about the standing of women's rights. As for what's different, this year, National Women's March organizers are hoping to get more people to the polls come November.
I think the message that we put forth on January 21st of 2017 was that we were united, that we were going to stand up and fight back, and we were going to protect the most marginalized. And I think we have proved that through action. And I think folks are worried in 2018. There are big elections and midterm elections this year.
You're heading downtown this morning. There will be congestion and road closures as people march from Southside Park to the Capitol building. We will be covering the march on the ABC 10 Instagram page. Just search for ABC 10 TV. Also today, the Sacramento River Cats hosting their annual job fair this afternoon at Raley Field. They're looking to fill about 400 part-time and seasonal positions for the upcoming season. Anything from guest services to bartenders, concession attendants, and stadium operations. The job fair is today from 1 to 4. You have to be at least 16 to apply. Managers will be there to interview people on the spot. The team has more than 70 home games this season, plus an exhibition game with the Giants, and 60-plus additional events planned for the year, so plenty of chances to work from March through October. In such a divisive time in our country, we found different groups bonding with one another. The Latino and Muslim communities came together in Sacramento last night over tacos. It's part of a movement called Taco Trucks at Every Mosque, and ABC 10's Ananda Rochito was there.